Friends, this week, the Shabbat immediately following the holiday of Pesach, we'll be reading the Torah portion of Shemini. And I want to connect this to our Corona Inspiration series and talk about something very fascinating that we talk about in this portion, which is very fundamental to Jewish life and Jewish continuity. One of the mitzvahs that most people have a hard time getting their full understanding and wrapping their head around it. And this is the laws of kosher, kashrut. Kashrut is something very fundamental in Jewish life. God had laid out very clearly in the Torah that we have to be careful with what we eat. And He prescribes only certain animals, those that have split hooves and chew their cud, are kosher. Birds, only a certain type, and we're told all the birds and families of the birds that are not kosher. Fish, we're told they have to have fins and scales. Even if we have kosher meat and kosher milk, they cannot be mixed together. They become milk and meat. And from this stem all the laws of kosher. And many people question, what is really kosher all about? What's the difference of what I eat? Was God worried about our health? But today we have governments to look after our health, and they have very strict guidelines, and companies do not play games with them. They can shut down a company in a moment. So therefore, there's no issue about having kosher. But in our time, in the olden days, it was important. We needed God's guidance. So what really is kosher all about? And kosher is one of those laws that are actually a statute. There is no reason for kosher. It is not health. And if we had a long time, I can refute every argument for kosher one by one, because it's definitely not about health. And what it really is about is following God's guideline, living with God. Food is something we involve ourselves with all the time. We eat 3 times a day officially. How many times a day are we snacking? Are we grabbing something here and something there? We cannot exist without food. Food occupies a big part of our headspace, of our life, of the way we are dealing with and we're living all the time. Food is life itself. Without food, we can't exist at all. And God says, in something so fundamental, so important to your life, and seemingly so mundane, it's just the fuel that keeps your body going. That's where you're going to find me. The laws of kosher are told to us in the portion which talks about the most important day in the life of the Jewish people, when the Mishkan, the tabernacle, was inaugurated. What was the significance of the tabernacle being inaugurated? That we turned a simple structure into the house of God. They were able to turn something that's made out of brick and mortar. In those days, it was made out of wood and other materials, into a house of God, into a holy place, a place that nurtures holiness, spirituality, connection to Hashem. And Hashem, in the same portion, tells us that you will be able to do that every moment of your life by the food choices that you make. When you follow the guidelines of Hashem, and you only eat the animals and the fish and the fowl that Hashem had told us, and you prepare it the way Hashem had told us, at that point, at that moment, when eating and partaking of these foods, you are actually connecting to Hashem. You're actually being one with Hashem. You are elevating your experience of life to an entirely new realm. So you're doing something so mundane, but yet there's something so powerful, so profound. And that is the beauty of Judaism. It's in the simple things where Judaism is powerful. It's not necessarily the great moments of Yom Kippur, a Pesach, Seder. These are not the moments when Judaism stands out. When Judaism really stands out, what makes someone Jewish, what makes someone living Jewish, because we're all Jewish by birth of being born to a Jewish mother. But what makes someone live Jewish is when you live in the mundane, in the regular, in the normal, seemingly non-holy, you live in a Jewish way. And this is the power that's given to every one of us to elevate every moment of our lives. So Shmini, a powerful portion of number 8, supernatural. Where is supernatural in our life? When you make the natural supernatural. When you make even your food that you eat every day be a connector between you and God. How simple, how easy is that? So I challenge you, If you're not doing fully kosher, start doing kosher at home. Start doing kosher on Shabbat. Start doing kosher in some way of your life, and you will feel very uplifted, very empowered, and you feel very connected. So I want to wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and especially now in this time when we're home during this Corona epidemic. It's a great time to hone in on our kosher eating and looking out at the foods to make sure what we bring into our home is kosher. And may Hashem help, we should every moment of our life feel elevated, refined, and uplifted. So I want to wish you a Shabbat Shalom. We love you all. May God bless you all. Candlelight time in Montreal, 7:24 p.m.